Hey, everybody. It's late. You might be sleeping. You might be laying in your bed. But it's Camille Aiko, and I hope that you are living the life that you love spiritually, mentally, physically, and financially. If you're going to be catching this live with me, go ahead and drop a one below. If you're catching this on replay, drop a 2 below for me. Good evening, everybody. I know it's later than I typically do it, but hey, I am here. All right. Good evening, everybody. What's going on? How are you all doing on this wonderful evening? Hey. So again, drop a one if you're going to watch this live. Hey, Kyle. Hey, Jessica. Hey, Sheila. Drop a one if you're going to watch live with me so I know who's here. And drop a 2 if you're catching this on replay. All right, and of course, if you're getting any value from what we're going to be talking about tonight, make sure you hit the share button. So we've been doing a series on protect your vibe, right? Protect your vibe, because we know that the energy that we give off, our own energy, is what helps to propel us to a place of success, helps us to really just progress and move forward. Thanks, guys, for dropping those ones for me. And so when we don't, hey, John, thank you. Hey, Angie, when we don't protect our vibe, then it puts us in a very down place. It puts us in a place of complacency. It could, it just leads us in where we don't want to be, right? When we don't protect our vibe. And so we have to make sure that with all costs, we are very aware of what's going around us. What are we watching? What are we hearing? What are we seeing? Who are we spending time with? And so with that leads into our episode for tonight, which is do not allow people to drain your energy. Do not allow people to drain you, because when you allow people to drain you, it completely will throw you off. And sometimes we don't even realize that these people are draining us. It's just a little bit at a time. Just a little bit of people draining our energy here, a little bit of people draining our energy there, and things that we may think is harmless. What happens is we eventually look up and we're like, how in the world did I get here? Like, why am I in this place that I'm at? And so I would challenge you to really look at the people that you are hanging around. Ask yourself and take good inventory. Who am I around? Who am I around? And even if you feel like you're in a good place, you still need to make sure that you're taking inventory of who you are around. So that's question number 1. Who am I around, right? And make a list. I had to run for exactly, Angie, because oh my goodness, when you are around the wrong people, it can literally catapult you into the completely wrong direction, and then you're just sitting there like confused, perplexed, like why does this even make sense for my life when I know this is the direction I'm trying to go? Why am I here, right? So the second question, because when dealing with people in your energy, you have to be aware of where your energy is coming from, right? So the second question is, what are the associations with these people who you're surrounding yourself with? What are they doing to you? What are these associations doing to you? What do they have you doing? What do they have you listening to? What do they have you reading? What actions are you taking? How do they make you feel? What are you thinking about from being around these people? Because when you really begin to take note of that, then you're going to be able to see whether or not you need to stay connected with these people or if you need to unplug from these people, right? So when you're thinking about 1, who am I hanging around? 2, what are these people doing to me? What are these associations doing to me? And then 3, is that okay? So if you going through and after you're taking this evaluation, you need to sit down and say, is how they make me feel okay? Is what I'm watching because of them okay? Is this conversation that I'm having because of the influences that are around me, the associations that I have, is it okay? So when you think about what your goals are in life and where you're trying to be, if then you come back and you're saying, okay, well, no, this isn't helping me to get to my goal. This isn't helping me to get that promotion. This isn't helping me to start my own business. This isn't helping me to grow spiritually, mentally, or financially. Then what you have to do is make a decision about how you deal with those relationships. Because if you don't, what's going to happen is what we already stated. They will drain you. And then those little nudges, and sometimes there's big nudges, right? But those little nudges over time will have you in a position wondering, what in the world am I doing? How did I get here? Right? Okay. So, and some of this information and things that I'm saying, a lot has come from Jim Rohn. So if you guys don't know who Jim Rohn is, look him up. He is an amazing person. And speaking of that, sometimes the people that you're going to need to, you know what, I'm going to save it. I'm going to save what I'm going to say for later because it's going to be good. All right. Let me see. I'm going to stay connected with you because you make me feel amazing, cuz. Love you too, cuz. But, okay, so now that you've taken inventory of who you're around and what these associations are making you do, and then identifying if what they're doing to you is okay, now you have to say, okay, now what am I going to do with these people, right? So you've looked at it and you haven't made any decisions yet. You've just literally just sat there and you've just done inventory, okay? You've done research, you've analyzed it the way that you need to analyze it. So now there's three things next. R-O-H-N, Angie, Jim Rohn. So R-O-H and then N as in Nancy. All right, so, sorry, my back is itching. Okay, but now you have option one. That is to disassociate, okay? So if you're looking at, here are my goals, this is what I want to do, this is what I'm trying to achieve, this is what I can do to make my life the one that I love, spiritually, mentally, physically, and financially. And then you've looked at it and said, okay, these people are not helping me to get there, like at all. What you need to do, yes, Angie, that's correct, is you need to disassociate. And guess what? It can be hard. I'm not saying that this is going to be easy. There are going to be sacrifices that you're going to need to make. It's going to be tough because some of these people, they might be some of the people who you have considered best friend. This could be family members. This could be, co-workers. It could be people who you feel like they're very close to you. But if they're not helping you to progress in life, you have to take inventory and say, okay, I cannot associate with you anymore because it is detrimental to my life. Okay? And when you come across these people who are detrimental to your life, then you have to make the decision, like, is me having my energy drained, having my life thrown off course, is that a good trade-off for being able to achieve my goals and being able to live the life that I want to live? Like, is that a fair trade-off? And then if not, then you have to say, you know what, I have to disassociate. You have to let go. All right? Hey, what's going on, Adonis? All right, so now that's thing number one. So after you have taken inventory, you're looking at who influences me, who are these people who are around me, how do they make me feel, what am I reading, what am I doing, what am I listening to because of these people, and you've decided, is this okay? This is what we are doing next. For those people who you've said this is not okay, disassociate. And then there's going to be some people who there's a mix, right? For some things, it's like, all right, that's cool. I can really hang with this person on these points, but on this part, not so much. All right. And for those people, then what you're going to have to do is just limit your associations. Or there could be some people, like I mentioned earlier, there might be some people you got to disassociate with that is in your family, right? Unfortunately, that's just how it goes. But sometimes there's people in your family that you can't really disassociate from, but you can do limited associations, right? And this could be friends as well, where you're like, okay, I'm not going to completely just let them go out of my life. They need me, or I love them, whatever the case is. But sometimes you have to do limited associations. So instead of spending 5 hours with these people, then you need to spend 5 minutes, like really cut it down. So you can let them know, hey, I'm here for you, have a word of prayer with them, whatever the case is. But you might need to really minimize the time that you're spending with them, because if you know that their influence is having a negative impact on your life, again, you have to weigh out what is worth it. Is it worth me sitting here being a part of one more negative conversation? Or should I get rid of those negative conversations so I can have a productive conversation about how we're going to move forward, how we're going to progress, like how we're going to help somebody, right? Okay, so then the next thing is expanding your association. So you've done inventory of the people who are around you, and maybe your list was real crappy, right? Maybe it was like, there is nobody on my list that I even need. You need to get rid of all of them. So that means you need to then expand associations. So this means you need to look for people who are going to be the people who are going to help you to grow, help you to become a better person, right? So this means that you need to expand your associations. Now, what I was going to say earlier, where I was like, this is going to be a really good point. Sometimes those people that you need to expand your association with, they aren't even people that you personally know. Some of the best things that I have learned has come from personal development, like from Mr. Jim Rohn, who I've never ever met him. He's deceased now. But there is so much that has come. At least I think I got to double check that. I don't even know if my friend is deceased or not. Look at that. But listen, there might be people that you listening to, audio, YouTube, all of these things, that they become your friends. They become the associations that you need until you bring yourself into a circle of people that are tangible, that you know personally, right? But sometimes the people that you need to expand your association with, your best mentors, may not even be the people who are around you all the time that you can pick up the phone and call, but you dive into that personal development. Right? In personal development, again, it can be audio, it can be books, it can be CDs that you're listening. I know a lot of people don't listen to CDs, but go on ahead and pull it out if you need to, right? You listen to these recordings that are giving you life, that are giving you good energy, that are pushing you forward, that are helping you towards your goals, that are going to help you to achieve something, because sometimes the people that we're around, they just simply don't have the answers, right? And sometimes we grow up in households where they have been trained to do things one way, and that's the only way that they know how to do it. But how they do it may not work right now in this day and age that we're in. And so you need to find somebody who is going to be able to help you. And nothing is wrong per se with the way that you've been trained or the way that you've been raised up. But again, maybe for this day and age, it's just time for you to learn something different, right? So also expanding your associations means looking at that list, and maybe you have some people who are phenomenal in your life. Like when you really look at it on paper, after you have taken the inventory of the people in your life, you're like, oh my gosh, this person is freaking amazing, and I just love them to pieces, and they really have what I need to really be able to push forward in my life, or to be able to start that business, or to do that exercise, or whatever it is, right? And so then you need to begin to figure out how you can spend more time with that person, right? How can you be in their life more? And that doesn't mean you're always going to be able to just pick up the phone and call, right? Sometimes there might be people that you know of that you have to work your way into that person's life, because if they're already up here and you're down here, then that means you have to do some work to be able to be on their level, because you don't want to bring them down. Because the law of associations is pretty much that you become the people that you hang around the most. So they can't bring down their level. You got to work up to get to their level. Does that make sense? Hopefully this is making sense to you guys. All right. So, give me some likes or hearts or something if this is making sense. Okay, Tanya, 100%. There we go. Thank you. Now I got some Hey, Mother Oliver, thanks for tuning in. All right, so again, after you take that list, if you decide there's nobody on it, then you definitely have to expand your associations, because you have to get to the people that can help you. And then if you look at your list and there's some people who are like, yeah, I don't know, yeah, you know, those are the people you disassociate with. And then there's those people who you're like, why am I not spending more time with them? I absolutely need to spend more time with them because they're absolutely phenomenal. Those are the people that you need to get in their face, figure out how you can be a help. All right, if you really want to expand your associations with people who are vibrating at a higher level, then you figure out how to help them. Don't come in their space always being negative and always being down, because that's how you drain them. That's how you end up on their disassociation list. If you want to expand your association and be around those people who are high energy, who are moving forward, who are positive thinkers, then you have to figure out how to vibrate on their level so that they'll want to keep you around, okay? So figure out how you can help them. And maybe you'll just be around them in doses at first until their energy begins to transfer to you. And then you are more positive, you are more forward thinking, you are then more functioning on their wavelength, okay? Because the worst thing that you want to do is then put yourself in a position where you're like, all right, well, I'm just feel rejected now. Nobody wants me around. Well, nobody wants you around because you always come around with that little victim mentality. Like, nobody wants to be around that. Absolutely. Absolutely not. Nobody wants to be around somebody who is just always in a victim mentality. And so you will definitely end up in their disassociation list, okay? So expanding your associations, you guys have got to start to expand your associations. Look at the people that you're around, you know, because it's so funny. Like, you have to be guarded, because like I said in the beginning, it just takes something so little that can nudge you off course, where you're like, how in the world, right? Like last night, for instance, I had visited a friend, went and grabbed something against my wishes of where I wanted to go, but it was late. I was hungry. Guess I went through a little drive-through at Jack in the Box, right? Anyway, I'm in this great mood. I was in this really great mood. And we go through, and the guy who like starts talking on the little drive-through window, he was all nasty. Like, it was to a point where I was like, do you need a nap? We're having a good time. We're laughing. And then I see him and he looks all raggedy, and I'm just like, it's just energy that he was just giving off to me was just not good. I'm like, you gonna be handling my food? Like, so then that went down, and then like he just didn't make eye contact. And then when he did make eye contact, it was just like, why are you even working here? Like, you clearly don't like people. At least you didn't like people on that night. But that energy transferred, and I went from like, to let me just get out of this line. And then when I got home, my food was cold. Like, it just ended up being a whole bad experience, right? But that is how quickly energy is transferred. That's my point of telling you this story, is that energy is transferred so quickly that if you are not careful, if you are not guarded, it will impact you, it will influence you, and then you will be sitting there wondering, how in the world did I get here? Why do I feel so drained, right? So there's definitely people where I have to limit my conversation, because I know that you are of no benefit to me. I know that talking to you, you know, you have a certain amount of time to tell me the issue before I start talking about, okay, now what is the solution? Because we can't stay here, because we can stay in a place of negativity and we can stay in a place of complaining, but what good does that do for us? What does that accomplish? It accomplishes nothing. So we're going to talk about a problem. Let's talk about it. Let's get your feelings and emotions out. But we don't need to talk circles. Now let's talk, how can we move forward? What is going to be the problem solving thing here? Because otherwise my energy is drained and I'm sitting here like, oh my God, when is this conversation going to be over? Because I can't take it anymore, right? And you don't want to be the person who is making someone feel that way, because then that's how you feel rejected. That's how you feel alone. That's how you feel like nobody cares. So if you feel like that, then you need to come to a place and say, what is my energy? What am I radiating? What am I vibrating to other people? Because they are only really interacting based off of what your vibe is. So if you got a nasty vibe, people are going to treat you a little differently. If you complaining all the time, you're going to see that. If you're positive and you have a good attitude and people want to be around you, then you're going to feel that, right? So, don't allow people to drain you. Don't allow people to drain you, because when you allow them to drain you, you will end up on their same level. I want to expand. Cornell. Okay. Well, definitely continue to check out my Facebook Lives. And tomorrow we'll be doing another one. Hey, Melba. Hey, Tanya. Yes, so true. BJ, hello, hello, hello. Okay, guys, but that is my time. So I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here. I hope that you guys were able to take something away. And so if you think someone else can benefit from this, make sure you hit the share button. And I will talk to y'all later. Camille Aiko. I hope that you are living the life that you love, spiritually, mentally, physically, and financially. Good night.